At what point did you do the soap operas? Was that before Animal House?
No, that was actually after Animal House. Yeah, Animal House really did nothing for my career. It really didn't. I thought it would. I mean, I was a waiter. The movie came out. I spent the money. I mean, after I finished the movie, we were in Oregon. I came back. I spent the money in, whatever, 3 weeks, and I was back waiting tables. When the movie came out, I was a waiter. So the soaps came after that. Yeah, after that, yeah.
Did you get some cachet though, being Animal House?
Not really.
Nothing.
No, I don't. No.
Yeah.
Nope. I don't know. I did not actually. I didn't. I thought maybe it could get me an agent, but that didn't happen.
Wow.
And so
how'd they find you in the first place?
Yeah, really weird. There was a casting director named Michael Chinich, and he was working on the film, and he came to acting school, my acting school, and they just said, "Listen, we're going to cast this movie, and we need like young assholes. Do you have any?" And they were like, "Yes, right here."
Wait till you see this guy.
Step right up. And so they sent me over there to meet John Landis, and Landis told me to make a smarmy face, and I literally didn't know what the word smarmy meant, but there was a certain sound to what's that called, onomatopoeia or something. It was like I kind of made a face that I thought would be smarmy, and then he loved it. And he brought me back again. I don't know that there were any lines. I mean, I didn't get the script, obviously, but until I started shooting. But I don't know that there were any lines for me to say at that point, or there wasn't really enough dialogue to do a real scene.
Yeah.
And then he brought me back and he said, "Make the smarmy face again." And then they called me up and I went out there and did the movie.
That's amazing. When you talk about pivotal moments, like, you don't kind of say like this changed or whatever. Did you have a sense in the early days that things were kind of happening? Like doors kind of open and you find yourself in these spots. Looking back, or in the moment, did you feel like, all right, shit, this could happen? Like that's quick, right? You're only in New York a little bit.
Yeah, no. I mean, it didn't feel quick to me because time is just different, you know? Yeah, but it was quick. It was quick and it was lucky. But, when I finished it, and it was certainly life-changing being on a set and the feeling of what that meant, and looking at the cameras and the gear and the insane, thing, and the cast and the living in a hotel on the road and flying first class for the first time in my life. And actually, I'd never even flown I don't think I'd ever been to the West Coast. I think it was my first time to the West Coast.
Yeah.
All these things were amazing. And then I got back to New York and I was like, okay, I'm broke. I got to go back to the waiting tables. And so it's always been about the next one, kind of. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even when there's the only time that I reflect on things is when I'm doing this.
Right.
I don't. Right. I really don't look back that much. You know?
Was it planes, trains, and then she's having a baby, or is it the other way around?
I'll tell you what happened with that was that we did She's Having a Baby.
Which I loved.
Thank you.
God, it was so good.
Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay. I was just talking to this guy the other day that I was playing some music with, and he just had a baby. And it was a rough birth. And he was describing, everyone ended up being fine, but he was describing that feeling. And I was like, whatever you do, don't see she's having a baby, because you will relive this. There's that Kate Bush song at the end. I mean, not to, pat myself on the back. It's really, I'm just paying homage to John Hughes' amazing direction of that moment and the use of that song. And
God.
At the end of the movie. Anyway.
Heart-wrenching.
Yeah. What happened was, when She's Having a Baby, I did a very, very deep dive with John Hughes. I spent a lot of time with him and with his family and on the weekends. And, in a weird way, not even really. This is just something that he kind of in a way kind of demanded of his of certainly of me. I don't know about what from other people, but that's really what he wanted. And I guess in retrospect, I realized that I was playing him, so it was a great ride along in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
and we made the movie, and when the movie finished, I said, "Hey." I knew that he was going on to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Okay.
And I said, "Hey, if you got anything for me, just let me know."
Right.
And what happened was the studio, and in my opinion, this was like a giant fuck up, switched the release dates. So they wanted to put Planes, Trains out before She's Having a Baby.
Oh.
I don't think that they really liked She's Having a Baby, because I think that I think they felt it was a little too serious for John, that it was a little too personal.
Yeah.
And a lot of his stuff had been, just bigger.
Right.
And great movies, but, just kind of more kind of comedic or whatever.
Yeah. In like a cultural moment.
Yes. Yeah. And so they put out Plane, Trains, and Automobiles before She's Having a Baby. So, I actually did it afterwards, but it came out before.
Oh.
And so he called me up and he said, "I got something. Can you come down to 57th Street or something like that? On a Tuesday, and you're going to run up and down the street." I was like, "Great, I'm in."
Oh, it's the coolest. It's such a great moment. Oh, it's so good. She's Having a Baby, man. What was that, like the late 80s, early 90s?
I guess, yeah. I'm not good with the dates.
Yeah. And I really just loved that when there's some neighbor, this is all paraphrasing, but there was a neighbor you're at a barbecue or whatever, and he's commenting about you noodling upstairs, like he's trying to figure out what you're doing at your desk upstairs. You're writing, and I just loved, as someone who was becoming a comedian and a writer, I was just like, that moment of being seen as the oddball just because you're writing. It really like lingered with me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was a very personal movie to John.
Yeah.
And I know that the fact that it didn't perform at the box office was very painful for him.
It didn't?
No, it really didn't.
Oh, wow.
Of his movies, I mean,
right.
I don't know if they lost money on it, but it was definitely not a hit.
Right.
And I think that that hurt, because I think it was probably the most personal movie that he made.
Right. Isn't that the way, though? You do something right, and those things become important, and people really hang with them for a long time, but maybe they just didn't score at that moment.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's I've made a few of those where quite a few of those where they don't really blow up when they come out.
Yeah.
But, back in the age of VCRs, people kind of found them and appreciated them.